Okay, breaking news this morning. There has been a new allegation against Jeffrey Donaldson. Another young woman has said that she was sexually assaulted by Jeffrey Donaldson, and this happened in the DUP offices at Westminster. Now, she has went to the police. She went to the PSNI yesterday. That's Monday, the 6th of July. And you would assume that because she went to the PSNI that this woman is from here. She's from Northern Ireland, and the PSNI then will pass this information to the Metropolitan Police because this allegedly took place in London. So we're going back to 2016. That's when this happened. This woman worked in England at the time, and I don't know what the relationship was between the two, but they must obviously have known each other because Jeffrey Donaldson invited her to take her on a tour of Westminster, which she agreed to go on, and they had the tour. They went for dinner in Westminster as well. Then after that, Jeffrey took her back to the DUP offices. Now, once they were there, at one point, she has to go to the bathroom. When she comes back, she notices that her phone is gone and Jeffrey has taken it from her, which he says that's for security reasons. Okay, now at some point then, Jeffrey pulls out a bottle of vodka. And we know from his colleagues, former colleagues now, that they said that Jeffrey drank like a fish when he was away from home. And he said that this bottle of vodka was a gift from a company in Lisbon. He had visited them on business and they'd give him this bottle of vodka. Now, whether that's true or not, he probably just wants to disguise the fact that he has a vodka in his DUP office, and because he's not a man who, people would publicly think that he drinks. Anyway, he offers to do shots with her. I mean, he's not even pouring her a drink and, mixing it with Coke and let's have a relaxing drink. It's like his colleagues say, like Jim Wells say, he gets blindingly drunk. So he sits this woman down and says, let's do shots. She says no. And then at one point, he tries to kiss her. Allegedly, this is all alleged. And he tries to kiss her and he tries to put his hand up her skirt. Now she says, and I'm quoting her here, she says, "I closed my mouth and pushed him away." So obviously things didn't go according to Jeffrey's plan, and when the woman is leaving his office, Jeffrey says to her, allegedly, "London can be a lonely place. If you need company, you can contact me." Well, I'm sure Jeffrey would have loved that. She goes on to say that he was still keeping up the pretense of being a good person. And I quote, "What happened to me was nothing near as bad as what happened to the two victims went through. I wasn't a child. But I have been a bag of nerves watching the coverage of the trial, thinking he was going to get off. The arrogance of him every day, with his smirk and the fish pin, playing the righteous card, like he was confident he would get away with it. When I watched the footage of that prison van driving off with him, I felt such relief. I thought there are still good people in the world because that is exactly what he deserves." So after this woman had left the DUP offices and went to catch a train, she got a message from Jeffrey, and it was a link to a song called Angel. Now you might know this song, Sarah McLachlan. If you don't, look it up. But very slow, sort of, I don't know, is it a love song? But it's called Angel, and he had wrote beside it, "For the most courageous angel I know." Now, this alleged incident occurred in 2016, she says. Now, we'll fast forward to 2020, and out of the blue, she gets a call on the number. It's Jeffrey Donaldson. This is via WhatsApp. When she picked it up, all she heard was allegedly Jeffrey Donaldson's voice saying, "Do not ring or contact his number again." Now, 2020, interesting time, because that's when apparently we've heard that Eleanor had thrown Jeffrey out of the house because she had gotten wind that he had been in touch with a constituent. Remember that whole thing? She had bugged his car and she was very suspicious that he was having an affair with a constituent. So around that time is when he just randomly contacts this woman again and says, "Don't contact me again," basically. Now at that time, Jeffrey was on Snapchat. This is not something I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know that he would be on something like Snapchat, but he did. I'm going to show you a picture that she has of him from that period. It's just a bit funny, a bit odd, a man of his years being on Snapchat, and this is how he, presented himself using Snapchat filters and everything at his age. But this was during lockdown, and he had written with this post, ready to face the world as soon as this isolation lark is over. Oh God, I mean, it's hilarious looking. Anyway, this woman has went on to say that, like, she probably never would have said anything about this unless the two female victims of Donaldson had come forward in 2024. She said, I might never have come forward had I not seen the bravery of those two women. It is not easy to say something. Don't judge people unless you're in their position. I have now seen that he was held to account, whereas I was always led to believe if I spoke out, I would be the one in serious trouble. This is a man who was pictured with prime ministers. What he did was wrong. You don't expect when you go and see this Christian pontificating political man that something like this was going to happen. I'm sure there are other people like me out there, and I would urge them to come forward. It is important that victims are listened to. We need to make damn sure this doesn't happen again. So that's the story so far. There'll be more on this, and I'll have it up on YouTube as quickly as possible. So please like and subscribe and let me know your thoughts on this. I mean, let's face it, it's not unexpected. Like I've been saying for weeks, this story's going to run and run. The things that he got away with earlier in his life, I believe that he maybe felt that, yeah, possibly I can just keep getting away with this. If I got away with the worst thing imaginable, it's just going to keep happening. So who knows what skeletons are in the closet here. So again, like, subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more.